Welcome back everybody, I hope you're having a great day today. It's going to be a fun episode. Pineapple Toy is excited, Jin and Nez are running around everywhere, and let's get into it. Am I the a-hole for telling my best friend that her marriage is doomed at her bachelorette party? And accidentally getting the wedding cancelled? Wow, okay. This weekend was a disaster. I, 27 female, have been best friends with Amy, 28 female, for years. She's been with this guy Jake for about 3 years, and to be honest, he's a walking red flag. He's super controlling, jealous, always checking her location. One time he called her 9 times while we were shopping at Target. Amy keeps on defending him, saying that he's only protective because he cares so much. Whatever, at her bachelorette party, it was supposed to be a fun girls' night, but Jake kept on blowing up her phone. Texts and FaceTime, asking where she was, accusing her of acting single. She kept on leaving to call him back, crying and apologizing, while the rest of us sat there awkwardly. After about the 4th time that she left the table, I lost it. When she came back, I said loud enough for the whole table to hear, "You're not marrying a husband, you're signing up for a lifetime of being babysat by a jealous man-child." Amy started crying and ran out of the bar. Half of the girls followed her, and later that night her mum called me drunk and thanking me because apparently they've all been worried about Jake, but they didn't know how to stop the wedding. Her mum told Amy that if she goes through with the wedding, they'll not pay for it. Now Amy has blocked Jake, moved out of their apartment and moved back into her parents' house, but she also blocked me for humiliating her, and half of our friend group is saying that I did the right thing, but the other half is calling me jealous and toxic for blowing up her relationship right before the wedding. So am I the a-hole? The top comment says, "Not the a-hole, you didn't ruin anything. You just said out loud what everybody else was too scared to. Better a few tears now than a lifetime of misery." Yeah, the boyfriend did sound really immature. This comment says, "She'll thank you later." This one says, "You the a-hole, justified a-hole." I mean, couldn't you have done this at any other point before the bachelorette party and not in public and shouting in front of everybody? But you did the right thing, the wrong way. Hopefully she'll see that eventually. The comment above that comment says, "Not the a-hole, this is a textbook abusive relationship. Your friend's super lucky that they've got such a good friend to bring this up before courts had to get involved." The one above that says, "Better a little public embarrassment now than a lifetime of emotional prison later. She'll see that eventually." The second top comment says, "No good deed goes unpunished." You did the right thing. She was going to be in for a lifetime of misery, but that doesn't mean that she's going to like you for it. I'm sorry, hopefully she will come around, but don't doubt yourself here. Controlling, jealous, always checking her location. Called her 9 times when they were just shopping at Target. Amy defends him, saying that he's only protective because he cares so much. Yeah, no, he's not just protective because he cares. I'm an awful partner to you because I care about you too much. Yeah, no, I don't think that's what it is. And also, it did say that Amy blocked him and moved back into her parents' house, so she must have realized that she didn't want to be with him. And if he's this controlling and Amy did marry him, it would have been miserable. Post number 2, am I the a-hole for reconsidering my engagement after he told me that he'll cheat on me if I don't have sex with him? No, you're not the a-hole for reconsidering your engagement. So what, he's already said that if you stop having sex with him, he'll go cheat on you? Definitely reconsider your engagement. My fiance, 28 male, and I, 29 female, have been engaged for 3 months. This weekend he wanted to talk. He basically told me that he's read a lot of stories about a wife losing her libido and putting their husband through a dead bedroom or once a week sex. He said that he will never accept this fate for himself, and if I neglect him sexually, he'll probably have sex with other women, as in cheating on me. He felt that he needed to tell me this because it's so important to him, and he needs me to understand that he's not going to be the guy who masturbates in the garage like a loser, and if I potentially want him to be okay with less sex, then he's not the one for me. I was stunned and I started to cry. He tried to console me and told me that he won't cheat if I got sick and can't have sex, but he doesn't want to be neglected sexually otherwise. I left and I've been reconsidering the engagement. I talked to my mum and she just said to me that he's just saying it. He won't cheat and he won't have time to cheat when he's busy with household responsibility. That's a load of crap. My friend said that any man will eventually cheat if he's not getting it at home. Okay, that's also a load of crap. So even if I leave him, I'll be in the same position with any other man. That's the biggest load of bullshit ever. What are they talking about? Don't get me wrong, I've got friends who are supportive of me. It's just that everybody likes him, especially my mum. She thinks I'm missing a lifetime opportunity if I leave him. Yeah, I would not be listening to your mum or your friends, OP. What makes me more mad is that he himself is most supportive of me. He's being understanding and acknowledging that I may not feel safe with him because of his comments. He's telling me to make the decision on my own and don't care about what my mum has to say because it's my life. He's never given me any reason to doubt him or see him in a bad light. It's the best relationship, that's why I agreed to marry him. I get that sex is important, but still, would all men risk their marriage for it? I'm filled with doubt. Would all men risk their marriage for it? Absolutely not. That is an absolute load of crap that your friend said, OP. Yeah, like this comment says, that would have killed all of my desire for him. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah, in the comment below that, the only important thing that he said was, I will cheat on you. Act on that. And the comment above that says, not the a-hole, this man is not ready to be in a serious relationship, and you deserve somebody that will respect you. I can't believe the friends of OP. That is so unbelievably sad. My friend said that any man will eventually cheat if he's not getting it at home, so if I leave him, I'll be in the same position with any other man. That is such a load of crap. The top comment says, ask him if the roles were reversed and he wasn't fulfilling your needs. Would he be okay with you cheating on him? You deserve better than this, OP. And staying with him for the lame-ass BS reason that your friends are saying, that, oh, I might as well stay with him because every other man would do the same. Don't do that to yourself, OP. Have some self-respect. You can find somebody who will be loyal to you. The comment below that says, not the a-hole, he very clearly cares more about his own personal feelings. He's not saying, hey, I heard this thing can happen, I don't want it to happen. Hello, Jin. Oh my god, hey dude. He's not saying, I heard this thing can happen that I don't want to happen. He's saying, I will cheat on you when this happens. Which is insane, because you'll worry if you say no, is this the time that he cheats? And you accepted that this would happen. I definitely leave. This will ruin your mental stability. Yeah, that's such a good point. You'll be thinking there the whole time, oh, we haven't done it in a while, so is he out cheating on me? You deserve better than this, OP. The next one, am I the a-hole for calling my fiance's mum obsessed with him at dinner in front of everybody? I'll be honest, I was already irritated before dinner even started because his mum always has to be involved in everything. She invited herself to our anniversary dinner. We were celebrating 4 years together and she showed up in a white dress. You're joking, like dead ass a literal bridal white floor-length dress and heels. Said that she wanted to feel pretty too. I'm already biting my tongue. We've only just started this post and I already feel like you need to run for the hills. Anyway, we're all talking and laughing and she cuts me off mid-sentence to tell me this long story about how when he was a baby he'd cry if she left the room and she would sleep on the floor next to his crib. Okay, whatever. And then later she was touching his face and goes, you'll always be my favorite boy. No one will ever love you like I do. Oh, this is so icky. Everybody kinda laughed it off, but I was stunned because it's not even subtle anymore. Like she's obsessed with him. I didn't even think. It just came out of my mouth. I said, do you hear yourself? You sound obsessed. He's your son, not your boyfriend. Then it was silent, like fork hitting plate silent. His brother literally choked on his wine. His mum seemed like I slapped her. She said that I was being disrespectful and dramatic. And then she started crying, saying that I've loved him longer than anybody. And you don't understand mother-son bonds. He took her side. Oh, no, no, no. Run away. Said I was rude and I ruined the mood. Get rid of him. And he didn't even check on me when I got up and left. I Ubered home and he hasn't texted. OP, he will always put his mum before you. My best friend says that I went too far. But it's been 2 days and all I feel is even more angry. Like what, I'm supposed to compete with this woman forever? Be second to somebody acting like she's his ex? I don't even know, I'm spiraling. Did I cross the line? Or did I finally say what nobody else would say? Yeah, like the top comment says, he took her side. Run. You will never be the most important person to him. He'll always choose his mother over you. Is this how you want to spend the rest of your life? Yeah, get out of there, OP. His mum sounds awful. Overstepping every boundary imaginable. And your boyfriend's a complete mama's boy. And he's always going to choose her over you. Like this would never ever change. Yeah, like this comment says, girl, run. He's showing you now how you rank in his mind. You'd forever be competing with his mother. And she'll be empowered to pull this constantly because she knows that he'll back her up. It's not worth it. And his mum's already showed you that she loves to interfere in your relationship. Do you think she's gonna not do that and suddenly become super respectful in the future? Of course not. She'll be poking her nose into every aspect of your relationship, knowing in the back of her mind that her son's always gonna back her up, and he won't back you up. The next one, am I the a-hole? My wife just spent the night at a friend's house. I'll keep this pretty simple. We're both in our 40s together together for 11 years and married for 8. About 2 or 3 years ago, my wife ran into her ex-boyfriend, whom she lived with previously. They chatted and they caught up with her. To be clear, they were part of the same friend group before dating. They'd bump into each other every so often and they'd chit-chat and catch up on things in a nearby diner. About 2 weeks ago, she hung out with him and his friends until 10 p.m, 5+ hours after she got off. She knew that I didn't like this. I don't think I'd be in the minority in this, but she's never given me reason to doubt her, and she doesn't have a deep bench of friends. Yesterday, they met up again after work. She checked in around 3 hours after they met up, letting me know that it was fine. I did my own thing at home until I basically said f*** it and went to bed. I received the below text at 12:45 a.m. Her. Lost track of time. Gonna just go to work from here. Oh God. Look, I trust my wife. She's never before given me reason not to. And I know the realization that her previous friend group has moved on has hit her pretty hard. Even given that I feel like I'm being gaslit, and at a bare minimum this is extremely disrespectful. Am I the a-hole? No. The top comment said 40s lost track of time at an ex-boyfriend whom she lived with previously. Will go to work from his house. Laughing my ass off. Yeah, that's a friend with benefits. The second top comment. So she's gonna go to work in the same clothes that she wore the previous day. If she had a change of clothes, then she planned on this. Even if she didn't cheat on you physically, this was planned. And at a minimum, there's emotional cheating. And the one below that, your wife slept at her ex's, really? Not the a-hole, clearly, but really? And the comment below that says, yeah, I think something's amiss. You don't hang out while married at 40 and then lose track of time, especially with an ex. Something isn't right. Yeah, and the comment below that, this is bad news, dude. At minimum, she badly disrespected you. Yeah, what? I lost track of time at my ex's house, so I'm gonna stay here and go to work from here? Ew. The comment below that says not the a-hole wife had an affair, end of story. Consult all the best divorce lawyers that are in your area. Good luck. And the comment below that says, dude, I'd confront her hard. Tell her regardless of what she admits to, you consider what she did as cheating. Then act accordingly. Your blind trust is gonna bite you. She didn't just sleep on the couch. And the one below that says, I'm all about men and women being friends, but even I have to admit, this is weird. This comment says, dude, read everything you wrote, but picture it as another couple. She doesn't respect you or your marriage. After work, she's meeting up with her ex-boyfriend, I'm assuming going back to his place. And then at 12:45 a.m, she's like, oh, I lost track of time. I'm gonna go to work from here. So you lost track of time, but also what? You're gonna stay there now? Excuse me? Oh, I lost track of time. Yeah, okay. Still go home? Oh, I'm gonna stay the night here. Excuse me, what? Once again, Pineapple Toy cannot believe the audacity. The next one says, am I the a-hole for cancelling the trip after my husband said that it was his reward for putting up with my pregnancy moods? My husband and I work full-time. I planned a weekend trip for us recently and I was gonna cover the cost. The pregnancy was really tough for me, especially with me working, and I've been dealing with postpartum depression. And I've also been doing most of the childcare and most of the housework, and I've been tired and sick and in pain for a long time, and I haven't been getting sleep. When I was discussing it with my husband, he casually said that it was his reward for putting up with my pregnancy moods, and then laughed about it. I didn't know how to respond, and I asked him to explain, and he doubled down, saying like he can get a break from the roller coaster of stress that I've caused him dealing with me. And he said that we have to get really intimate the whole trip, since I haven't been fulfilling his needs when he wants, and that he thinks the trip idea is good so I can get back to normal. I was upset, and I felt that he didn't respect how difficult this has been for me, and was talking like I'm a burden to him, and that my pregnancy was just an inconvenience to him. Like this trip is his reward for tolerating me? Yeah, that's so awful. After a while, I told him that I cancelled the trip, and that it felt like he's describing me as just a problem to him. And he called me oversensitive, yeah, of course he did, and said that I was ruining his chance for fun, and I was punishing him for being honest about his needs, and he got upset at me. Am I the a-hole? No. Yeah, like this comment says, after a comment like that and zero help from him, I don't think I'd ever see or feel my husband in a positive light, much less want any kind of intimacy with him. You deserve much better than him. The comment below that says he didn't see the trip as a gift, he saw it as a transaction. You go through hell, you carry a child, you push your body to its limit, and his takeaway is that he deserves a reward for being near you while you suffered. Cancelling the trip wasn't petty, it was reclaiming your dignity. And the one below that, divorce never sounded so good. Not the a-hole. And the top comment, we have to get really intimate the whole trip since I haven't been fulfilling his needs whenever he wants. This is one of the posts that I hope is fake for my own sanity. Like, a man acting like this is a cool and normal way to behave. Makes me so sad for you and your kids. The next one, am I the gay hole for not letting my neighbour's kid ruin my lawn in the name of imagination? I live in a quiet suburban neighbourhood with your standard backyard, some grass, a few old trees, a weathered shed. Nothing fancy, but I try to keep it tidy. I'm on polite but not close terms with most of my neighbours. We wave, sometimes chat about the weather, and that's about it. There's a family 2 doors down with a boy who's maybe 9 or 10. Lately he's gone full pirate mode. I mean fully committed. Eye patch, cardboard sword, yelling "Yay be cursed" at squirrels. To be honest, pretty wholesome. At first anyway, and then I started noticing small holes in my yard. Only little ones near the fence. I assumed it was raccoons, but then the holes got bigger. One morning I went out and I found the ground behind my shed completely torn up. Clumps of grass tossed around and a map pinned to the tree with a stick. Oh my god. Eventually I caught him out there mid-dig. I asked him what he was doing and he straight up said, "I'm hiding my treasure. No one must know. This is the perfect hiding spot." I told him calmly, "Hey, this is my yard, you can't dig here." He got a little huffy but ran off. I figured that was the end of it. Nope, next day there's a new hole. Bigger. A tin lunchbox half buried behind the shed. I dig it up and it's full of Pokemon cards, fake jewels and toy coins, and a few crumbled $5 bills. I bring it to his mum and I explain what's going on. She immediately gets defensive. No apology, just a heavy sigh, and well, he's just using his imagination. I think it's sweet. I told her I didn't mind the creativity, just not in my yard. She rolled her eyes and said, "Can't you just let him have this? It's not like your grass is that nice anyway." The mum's doing a terrible job here. That actually stunned me. I said as politely as possible that I didn't want holes being dug on my property by somebody else's kid. I handed the box over and I left. That night she sends me a long text telling me that I humiliated her son. I crushed his imagination, and I created an environment where children can't feel safe being children. She said that he cried for over an hour and now thinks that I'm the villain in his story. Her words. I didn't reply. I get it, he's a kid. I didn't yell, I didn't shame him, and I even gave the stuff back. But I'm not thrilled about my yard being turned into a sandbox and then getting insulted for not being okay about it. So am I the gay hole for drawing a line and not entering a pirate storyline that involved my yard getting wrecked? Of course not. The top comment says not the gay hole. His mum needs to teach him to respect other people's property. You don't get to do whatever the hell you want as a kid in the name of using your imagination. Maybe he should use his imagination to pretend that he buried his treasure in your yard while actually leaving it intact. I think that would be a more constructive use of it. His mum's on the hook for teaching her kid to channel his creative impulses into productive endeavors, not destructive ones. When he grows up unable to properly establish relationships, he'll realize that his problems stem from the fact that he was never taught to respect others. When that time comes, he'll see that his mum is the actual villain in his story. Of course you don't want the neighbor's kid digging up your yard. That's super understandable. The comment below that says not the a-hole, he can dig holes in his own backyard, and his imagination can run free on his own property, and he can feel safe being a kid on his own property. You aren't the a-hole here, his mother is. She should be teaching him not to mess up other people's property. Yeah, this one's unbelievable. You're the a-hole because you don't want your property dug up? I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. The next one says, am I the gay hole for refusing to spend Mother's Day with my ex and his wife celebrating her, so that our kids will? My ex-husband and I share custody of our 17-year-old daughter and 15-year-old son. We divorced 12 years ago and co-parented with difficulty ever since. My ex is remarried and there were tension between the three of us for the majority of that time. My ex's wife came in with huge expectations of what she would be to the kids and how involved I'd be, and none of it was realistic. She thought that I'd agree to giving my ex primary custody and that I would be a 1 weekend a month mum. When that wasn't what happened, she expected everything mum related to be split equally between us. So alternating Mother's Day, taking turns doing the Mother's Day events at school or activities, and even changing who was listed as their mum on certain forms. Oh my god. And she really believed that that was something I'd do, and something that would cause zero problems with schools and doctors. She expected the kids to call her mum as soon as her wedding ring was on her finger, and she believed that I would encourage, meaning force them to call her mum. Delusional. This was a long-standing expectation that never got met, not even one time. She expected to have the same legal authority as my ex and I had, and that she would get to make certain decisions for the kids without my ex or my input, those being where they went to school, school, what doctors they saw, and what summer camps they'd go to, and for how long. She also expected to decide a religion for them. The audacity. She wanted to change their last name to a hyphenated name, with hers and mine and ex's. She fully expected this to happen too. There was more than a year of her throwing a tantrum because I shut the idea down. My ex's wife does come from money, and is used to having things her own way. So not getting her expectations met made her increasingly bitter towards me. Wow, she's entitled and also delusional. She alienated my kids by being too pushy, controlling, and trying to change their life to fit what she believed they should be. Case in point, she tried to fight to get them into private school and pressured them to ask me. She wanted my daughter to be in cheer and music classes up to 6 times a week, and she wanted my son in football and boxing 6 times a week. My kids weren't interested in those activities, and she brought them along multiple times and tried to make them take part. She told them it's what boys and girls did. Oh, she sounds awful. She insulted the parents of my son's best friend and then attempted to stop all contact between the two kids. She hated me for refusing to back her up. While she was thinking of them as her kids, they were wishing their dad would divorce her, and I know they asked at least twice for him to do just that. When his wife learned, she blamed me. Oh my god. The kids make a point of spending as little time as possible with her. They do not appreciate her, and that bothers my ex and his wife. He and I have discussed it, but they told me that they should, and that I was bitter for not making them appreciate her. He said that she made their life better no matter what the kids think or say. My ex and his wife did not have a child together until last year, and this coming Mother's Day is her first one as a mum. The day's been a sore topic for her because the kids are with me, and she doesn't have anybody but my ex treating her like a mum. Now that she officially is one, she believed that would mean that my kids would be there for Mother's Day going forward, but they set the record straight, as did I when asked about it. Now my ex has come to me with this insane idea that I should spend the day celebrating his wife and join in their Mother's Day celebrations. He said that she's worth celebrating. It's her first time having her own child on Mother's Day, but our kid should be there but won't if I'm not. So he's perfectly happy to force his kids to do stuff that they don't want to do. Yeah, I'm sure that's not going to end in resentment, dude. So unbelievably entitled. I shut his idea down hard and I told him I would not spend the day with his wife. He tried to turn it into a fight, but I walked away from him and I've not answered his call since. He sent a few texts telling me that I need to reconsider. No, you don't. But I ignored those as well, and then he sent his sister after me. She told me that it was so petty of me to not even consider meeting in the middle somewhere, and she stated that I was rude about everything. She said I was the reason the kids didn't like their stepmother. No, you're not. Oh my god. The kids don't like their stepmom because their stepmom is awful. And with a half sibling now, I needed to figure it out. I walked away from her as well, but more texts from my ex followed. The only thing giving me pause is the fact that my ex's family doesn't like the new wife, so the fact that ex's sister said what she did is making me question a tiny bit if I am the gay hoe. Please send her this post. So unbelievably entitled, and I feel like your ex and her need to read these comments. This comment says, not the a-hole, she's insane, and I suggest that you take all of this evidence to a lawyer and try to change the custody agreement. She needs to be a 1 weekend a month stepmom. Yeah, and the comment below that, so your ex won't be at all surprised when his kids go completely no contact with him when they turn 18? Good lord, what are those two smoking anyway? They sound like total nutcases. Yeah, they've lost their mind. And OP's ex-husband is so happy to force his own kids to do stuff that they don't want to do. I'm imagining like a 10-year-old entitled super bratty child, but like a fully grown adult. That's what the stepmom is. Yeah, and the way that your ex-husband is acting, OP, it makes me wonder if he even has a brain. Think about how this is going to work out with your kids. They're gonna hate you, dude. And the bit about trying to force his kids to respect and appreciate the stepmom, they should appreciate the stepmom for what, being a complete nuisance and making their life harder than it needs to be. This comment says, not the a-hole, you're not obligated to celebrate your ex's wife on Mother's Day. She's not your kid's mum, and forcing them to act like she is won't change that. Your boundaries are valid, and your ex's pressure is manipulative. The comment below that says, not the a-hole, I really look forward to next year's conversations with your ex when one of his kids doesn't visit him and his awful wife anymore due to the fact that she's an adult and can do whatever the hell she wants. He's really setting himself up for some low contact, no contact years ahead. Oh, and congratulations! In 3 years, you legally don't have to talk to him ever again. Yeah, 100%. His kids aren't going to want to visit him and his awful wife anymore. Yeah, and they won't be able to force them to. What an unbelievable post. Okay, the next one is an update post to a post that we read the other day. Am I the a-hole for stopping my boyfriend's proposal at our best friend's wedding? That was also an unbelievable post. I'll play that now before I read the update. Am I the a-hole for stopping my boyfriend's proposal at our best friend's wedding? I, female 26, and my boyfriend, male 25, attended a mutual friend's wedding. They're very close friends to us and they brought my boyfriend and I together. My boyfriend and I are coming up on our 3-year anniversary and things are getting pretty serious. Enough so that I very much wanted to marry him. He's sweet, chatty, typically considerate and empathetic. He's the person who I thought was the first to show me what a truly healthy and compassionate relationship was like. And he's very serious about us too. We've had long talks about marriage and it seemed that we were in agreement. We even got as far as looking at rings. So the chance of a proposal was more of a when, not an if. A few weeks before the wedding, us and the engaged couple at the time were hanging out. The topic of weddings was of course very prevalent and my boyfriend had cracked a joke about proposing at our friend's wedding. The to-be groom joked back and said that'd be funny as hell. And that was followed by me and the to-be bride both shutting it down. Trying to be serious, but also not thinking that he was being serious. He was. Well, he's definitely in the wrong then. Unless everybody was okay about it happening, then he shouldn't have done it. But he still did it anyway. During the reception, everybody had made their speeches and people were getting their food. While our table was waiting, my boyfriend went up to the DJ and they played my boyfriend and I's favorite song to scream sing in the car together, Story of My Life by One Direction. I look at him smiling and he's looking around. All of a sudden, he grabs a fork, stands up and begins to clang it on the glass. Immediately, the whole dining room looks over. I stand up and I whisper the words, "Not right now." His face drops and he yells a mix of, "I'm sorry, I was only joking." After he sat back down, I verbatim said, "Let them have their moment. Let's not make this our own." And he wouldn't even look at me. When it was time to get our food, he immediately goes towards the exit. I follow and I try to catch up to him, but I couldn't find him. I text him twice and I call him a couple of times, but no answer. So I went back to the reception. What did he expect? You and the bride both said that you didn't want this to happen. But what, he's surprised about this now? After not hearing from him for about an hour and a half, he returns, sits down, and doesn't even look at me. Wow. The rest of the night was terrible. He looks like his dog just died, and I'm trying to make the best of the night. But I felt like I was in his shadow. I was prepping for a breakdown or maybe a fight in the car, but the only thing he said was, "I don't want to talk about it right now." And the drive was super quiet and super awkward. He sent me a long text about how hard it was to get the ring, how we felt rejected by his closest person, and that I embarrassed him. Bro, you embarrassed yourself. You knew that OP didn't want you to propose at their wedding. What did you expect? I tried to explain that it's not that I didn't want to marry him, but it was our best friend's wedding and they deserved their moment. That we should create our own and not be piggybacking off theirs. He got offended and said that if I wanted to marry him, I wouldn't have stopped his proposal in front of everybody. This situation perplexes me. I've never seen the appeal of proposing at somebody else's wedding, and I tried to handle it in a way that I felt was calm and chill, but he's so adamant that I ruined the proposal, made him seem like an a-hole, and thus that I'm the a-hole. Should I admit that I was wrong and have let the proposal go at our friend's wedding? Update. Hi all, this is an update from a post that I made 2 days ago. I responded to a few comments, but before proceeding with our conversation, I read almost every comment hoping to gain new perspectives and see the situation that I presented from a different light. After I got home from the wedding, my boyfriend and I texted back and forth. After he went to bed, I made my Reddit post because I absolutely felt like an a-hole. I was second guessing everything and I thought the night would have gone better if I just let him do his thing. After seeing the responses in my post, I'm more solidified in that I made the right decision. Yes, the night was ruined, but I'd be more comfortable with my life moving forward. I gave my boyfriend and myself a day to think about this and then to come back with clearer heads, and that was yesterday. I took a lot of people's advice and I tried to reflect on if this behavior was a grand showing of any smaller reaction. The stonewalling isn't super new. In fights at the start of our relationship, he would get quiet and make a small showing of secluding himself. I'd counter this by giving my boyfriend his space and then telling him that moving forward to just say that he didn't have the words to talk about it, and then we can reconvene when we're ready to talk. And this did work. It gave him time to choose his words, and we'd have a discussion about what went wrong and how we could fix it moving forward. I didn't think that he was overtly trying to make me feel worse by the silent treatment back then. However, ignoring me for the rest of our time at the wedding hurt so much. Not even saying I just need space right now, and rejecting to hold my hand by pulling away felt like he was pseudo counter rejecting me. This was a first. I felt like he was trying to make me feel worse with his lack of communication. That's all I noticed. I've had a partner be verbally abusive to me before, and another who wasn't willing to talk about stuff they did wrong, refused refusing to take any blame. My boyfriend hasn't done any of that. I'm not saying I recognize all patterns of abuse, but I would say that I'm first in a few. There's also been no real history of me catering to him constantly, as other people were asking. If either person had strong feelings one way or another in different scenarios, we'd often be fine with that person getting their way. Otherwise, if we both didn't care all that much, he loves to use a wheel-spinning website to make decisions, and I think it's cute. We met up earlier today, he came over and we sat in my living room. He broke down. He vehemently apologized and said that he felt like an a-hole. He said that he'd been reflecting all of yesterday and talking to his dad about the situation. His dad got mad at him and talked him off his ego crash. His words, not mine. He had already sent a message to our friends, now flying to their honeymoon in West Europe, apologizing for making their most important day about him and for not properly celebrating them. I asked him why he neglected our conversation from months before. He said that the groom and their group of friends had egged him on in private since, not to propose at the wedding but to do it soon. He didn't originally plan on doing it at the wedding. He's had the ring with him for about a month, never had any real plan and wanted it to be spontaneous. He told me that he got caught up in the atmosphere of the wedding, saw his best friend with his girl and couldn't stop picturing us in the same situation. His urge overran his common sense, in his terms, and he made a choice that he ultimately wishes that he could take back, and it spiraled from there. I noted that while his heart was in the right place, that doesn't excuse the crap storm that he put me through after. I expressed to him that ignoring me really hurt me, that him saying that my rejection to his proposal was the reason for his embarrassment, and the shutdown was unfair, especially since we had already established for him not to do that. He accepted this and continued to apologize, admitting that it was very unfair of him, and that he should have handled his emotions and embarrassment better, especially towards me. We had a lull in our conversation after he asked, where do we go from here? At this point, I didn't want to just return back to normal. A day where I expressed to him that I felt the prettiest in a long time, expected us to have enormous fun and watch our best friends have their moment to shine, turned into a day where I was crying in my room reading Reddit comments about how I should break up with him. I genuinely thought that I was the a-hole who should have bit the bullet and accepted a proposal in a way that I and others thought wasn't okay. I told him that if we were to move forward, he needed to seek a therapist to help him manage his emotions, not only from this but other signs that he may have a panic disorder. My mum works for a mental health clinic and has offered resources before. I said that I needed time to rebuild my trust in him. He understood and is going to seek mental health resources through my mum's clinic. Until then, we'll be on a week or so break with an open channel of communication. He's going to find appropriate channels to better himself, and I'm going to take myself on a mini vacation. After the emotional roller coaster that was this weekend, we did talk about what each other's ideal proposal was, something that we should have talked about before the trigger was even pulled on it. I said I didn't care for anything fancy. I just prefer it not be in public. He said that he wanted to make a grand showing of love to me and didn't care where or how. He asked if it was okay to have friends and family present, or if that broke my public rule. I said that was fine, and I was happy with the communicative response. I also stated that I didn't want to be proposed to for a while, so that we could let this situation rest and figure ourselves out from here, and he accepted this. Something I thought was really sweet that I wanted to mention was that before he left, he said, I do think I owe you some dancing, and we slow danced in the living room for about half an hour until he left. A small and romantic action, probably to earn brownie points, but the conversation did reassure me that he is willing to try and be better. He recognized that he was in the wrong and that a joyful day was robbed by pride and not rejection. This was about as ideal of an outcome as I could have hoped for. Thank you all for taking time out of your days to reply and bring me back to earth. Thank you to those who messaged me in private to make sure that I was okay or to give input. While the future is still obscure, it's a little bit clearer than it was a couple of days ago. I have a clearer understanding now of what I want and what's healthy. Moving forward, I'll do every ounce of weighing before I enter what should be the most important commitment that you can make to a person that you love, and I'll keep a more careful eye on his behavior and how we may react to adverse situations. I hope the best for all of you, as many have for me. Thank you. Oh, that's such a beautiful update. The top comment says, finally somebody who actually talked it out as adults, rather than jumping to immediately discussing it and ending the relationship. I'm glad you guys made up, and you made proactive steps to actually mend the relationship. Yeah, that's such a good update. That is so beautiful. All the best to them. Okay, on that surprisingly wholesome note, that's enough for today. I have two really cute wholesome memes to read. You let your cat sleep with you? I'd let him represent me in court. Yeah, 100%. I would do anything for these babies, and I know they would do anything for me. And this one too, the circle of regret. Oh my god, cold. I need to go back inside. And the look on their face is so cute too. Once again, thank you for watching watching, everybody. I hope you had a great time today. That was such a fun episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. The comment of the day goes to Kristen Cabbage. The flames in the thumbnail are super funny with Jin totally vibing. Like, yeah, everything's on fire, but that just makes this cat bed warm and cozy. Yeah, every single time I make the thumbnails and I put the fire in the background, it makes me laugh every time. Like, oh no, Jin and Nez are on fire, but they don't seem to mind. Like, I try to make thumbnails that are dramatic, but they're also fun, and they're also simple at the same time, but also eye-catching at the same time. And meanwhile, Jin and Nez are in them looking adorable. Thank you for that comment, Kristen Cabbage, and thank you for the support. And thank you all for the support, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every other day. Bye!